one.
Hello there. Welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T. Manning the second here, hanging out with Thomas Manning. We are so glad that you could join us. I'll be honest with you. Thomas has been working really hard behind the scenes with the whole Reel to Reel Film Festival, and we are going to focus on Reel to Reel today. But Thomas was like, I don't want to do this show. I'm just tired. I'm just tired and sleepy. And so he gave in because I said, Thomas, it's not about you. It's about your audience. And so he was like, okay, I feel the guilt. I'm weighed down by the guilt. I will rise up and meet my audience where they are. So, Thomas, I'm glad that you did that. Good to see you, man.
I'm doing this for all of our non-viewers out there. I got some coffee and injected it intravenously, right, just like 5 minutes ago. I think I crushed up some chocolate chips and put them into like an eye droplet I put into my eyes. And so just trying to get the caffeine and the sugar to my brain as quickly as possible. So.
Well, we do have quite a bit we're going to try to cover, Thomas, because we are going to talk reel to reel. A wonderful success. A lot of filmmakers showing up for this. You had, I guess, 10 or so filmmakers show up. And to backtrack, there were 26 countries represented in the entries. I think 6 continents, numerous states, and ultimately you had to narrow that down. I think there were about 30 films, Thomas, is that right, that were shown?
Yeah, so over the course of our 4 days and 5 screening blocks, we showed 38 films from 10 U.S. states, 7 countries, and then 4 continents.
Wow.
And then even, one of those films was actually partially filmed in Antarctica. So as far as filming locations, you had like 5 continents. So yeah, I think we're pretty good. We're pretty pleased with, showing our reel-to-reel audience such a diverse array of films from all over the world.
Absolutely. And we thought this would be a great time, Thomas, to honor those filmmakers that did receive awards. And so this is the awards edition, the reel-to-reel awards edition for Meet Me at the Movies for the 26th annual Reel-to-Reel Film Festival. Well, Thomas, do you want to start at the best of fest and then kind of work our way down? Is that how you want to do this?
Yeah, let's do it. So Best of Fest was a sci-fi short film called As Easy as Closing Your Eyes. This film was actually executive produced by Oscar nominee Abigail Breslin. And this was a 20-minute short, which feels like a universe with 1,000 different stories in it already. Essentially, there is this, imagine if there was a substance that could bring back visions of your loved ones, but not just your loved ones who have passed on, but not just, visions, but very real visceral experiences, and imagine the dangers that can come along with a substance like that. That's basically what this film explores. Every minute, every frame of this film is just jaw-dropping, and we were very fortunate to have this at Reel to Reel. So directed by Parker Croft and written and produced by Aaron Golden. So major kudos to the team of As Easy as Closing Your Eyes for winning Best of Fest at the 26th annual Reel to Reel International Film Festival.
And also, Thomas, I'll give you a chance if there's any notes from any of the jury that you wanted to share for any of these, or what it is that spoke about these films to those. And we want to thank all those as well, the volunteers who you recruited to watch these films. There were over 200 plus entries, and that's a lot of films to go through, and we appreciate all of those who volunteer their time to watch these films and to rate them and to deliberate as well.
Yeah, multiple members of the North Carolina Film Critics Association, the Critics' Choice Association, various volunteers from the local community. So this was a massive undertaking, and very thankful for the support of everyone around me who just pitched in their time, and people who are passionate about movies and passionate about the art of film. This was totally on a volunteer basis, and just very, very grateful for that support.
Best professional short, Thomas. There was a tie, and an Oscar nominee was one of the winners of this, and actually got to spend the night at our house, and came from Belgium for this festival.
That's right. Director Tom Van Avermaet, who was directed for Best Narrative Short Film back in 2013 at the Oscars. This film that we showed at Reel to Reel this year was Hearts of Stone, starring Noomi Rapace and Jessica Barden. It's a beautiful romance. It's got some, I guess it also has some sci-fi elements as well. We've all seen living statue street performers, but what if, living statue street performer fell in love with an actual statue, and that statue perhaps came to life? The visual effects in this film are um, just unbelievable. And Tom talked about how it was probably the most complex VFX work he's ever worked on, and just it was such an honor to have him at a Reel to Reel. He made his way. He was going to be in the States anyway for a couple other film festivals. And when he looked at the calendar, he realized, you know what? On my way from New York to San Diego for Comic Con, I can probably skip on down to Kings Mountain and spend some time at Reel to Reel. And we are so glad he did. So, Hearts of Stone, winner of Best Professional Short, an award that was shared in a tie with Wait to Tell Mother. This was another film that we showed on opening night of the festival, directed by Emma Elizabeth Steiger. And this was a film with just top-notch casting, and performances across the board on this. Um, it's it's a portrait of a young girl's relationship with her father and how that relationship evolved over the years. And from the point of view of this story is after that father has passed away and kind of looking back and reflecting on that relationship. So, Wait to Tell Mother and Hearts of Stone, Best Professional Short. Very glad to have both of those at Reel to Reel.
Yeah, the theme of relationships was one of those things that we saw weaving its way through this festival, and good and bad relationships, and also a sense of seeking discovery. Those are some themes that I think were definitely there this year for year 26. Best amateur short. Talk about some strange relationships. Man, there was a strange relationship in this film, and tell us about this film. And we got a chance to hear from some of the filmmakers.
That's right. Last Call is this film directed by Jacob Joyner, starring Ariana Teisinger. We had both of them present at a Reel to Reel for the Saturday matinee, and this is it kind of is presented as an old school noir type film. It's shot in black and white. There's a lot of cigarette smoke in the air. But in a conversation we had with Jacob and Ariana after the screening, really the whole aesthetic choice for this film just came by accident or out of necessity when they realized they had to completely change the story kind of later on in the process than they had originally planned. And yeah, it's very eerie, I guess Twilight Zone-ish in certain aspects, and then David Lynchian for sure as
Yep.
well. I know Jacob Joyner talked a lot about the influence of Lynch on him as a filmmaker. And another thing that impressed me about this film was the long extended takes of dialogue back and forth between only three actors in this film, but there were long unbroken takes of 60 to 90 seconds of just dialogue back and forth. So Last Call, really strong film from Jacob Joyner, and glad that Jacob and Ariana could join us at Reel to Reel.
Yeah, cinematography and the lighting both were just brilliant, and the acting, especially from Ariana, was really stellar in this. And we got to see her in another film in the festival as well. So we got a double dose of that. Talking about a dose of some just incredible food. And cinematography, man, I tell you, I was blown away by the cinematography and the best professional documentary. And this was a film about, again, about relationships and trying to find yourself after struggles of youth. Let's hear about this, and of course, this filmmaker showed up as well, and kind of a historic and famous filmmaker as well.
Yes, so this film is called Bite of Benin. It's a 35-minute documentary co-directed by Brad Herring and Ade Carena, and Ade is basically the star of the documentary as well. It chronicles her story, and she is now a world-renowned chef, and this film explores how she kind of got back in touch with her roots in West Africa and how that has influenced who she is as a chef and as a storyteller. There's a quote from this film that really stuck with me. She says, "I'm a chef by trade, but I like to call myself a storyteller." And she says that specifically it's the stories of the women who have influenced her in her life. And you just seeing how that all comes together in this film, which is just such a rich story that I know they already have plans to expand it into a feature. And it is, but the way it is in short documentary format is just, gorgeous as well. And sharing conversation with a day and hosting her at Reel to Reel was, really a privilege. And I know the audience, that was one of the audience's very favorites of the fest. And there were people, taking pictures left and right with the day after the screening. So, yeah, it was just a wonderful evening on. We showed that on Friday night.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful film and a beautiful person as well. I'm so glad we got a chance to see that film, to screen it, and to meet a day and to award this film Best Professional Documentary, Bite of Benin. Well, Thomas, we're going to take a quick break, and then we've got a lot to cover after the break. So we've got quite a few more awards to run through from the 26th Annual Reel to Reel Film Festival. Thomas Manning joining us. I'm Noel T. Manning II. Hang around after this quick intermission. More on the Reel to Reel Film Festival, 26th Annual Reel to Reel Film Festival awards for this year.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick?
As Cleveland County's premier event facility, LeGrand Center is the ideal location for any event. The LeGrand Center is located 45 minutes west of Charlotte, 45 minutes north of Spartanburg, and just a little over an hour east of Asheville. Whether you're a small business looking for a place for an off-site meeting or a bride looking for that special location for her wedding, LeGrand Center is the perfect place for you.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch
Hello, welcome back to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T. Manning II here, hanging out with Thomas Manning, and we are talking about the awards for the 26th Annual Reel to Reel Film Festival. And Thomas, this next award we're going to talk about, the Best Student Documentary, comes from a former intern for the Reel to Reel Film Fest and the Cleveland County Arts Council, and it covers something that is controversial, but also something that has some local ties.
Yes, absolutely. So Ashley Luckadoo directed this film, and when she interned at the Arts Council a year ago, she had mentioned that this was going to be her senior film that she was working on. And the title of this documentary, which won Best Student Documentary, is called "A Small Town Friendly," and it's an investigative look into the history of the Word of Faith Church in Spindale, North Carolina, and the there have been multiple national news stories over the decades about this church, and I think this documentary does an excellent job, painting a broader picture of some of its history and how it's affected some of its members. So once again, this is from the UNC School of the Arts, and they always turn out outstanding work, and we're honored to have projects from them at Reel to Reel annually. Every year in most of Reel to Reel's history, we've had stuff from School of the Arts.
Yep. Small Town Friendly Best Student Documentary. And Thomas, every year we have films that just kind of speak to us in different ways, and they may not win the traditional award categories, but over the years we've actually added categories when we felt it was something that was worthy. We've done that several years ago when there was a film that cinematography just spoke to everybody. We did Best Cinematography. We did Best Acting. This year we did a Carolina's Choice Award, and this film recognizes a filmmaker who's not from North Carolina, but the film is very much so.
That's right. So 1,000 Years is a short film, a drama piece about the Wright brothers. And it's a love letter to not only the scientific process, but the creative process at large. The actors in this film, Wilbur Wright, played by Clayton Ferris, and Orville, played by Alex Harold, their knowledge of their relationship to the camera at all times just really speaks to the viewer. Cinematography, production design, costume design, all of that from top to bottom, really strong here. And directed by Bryce Ferrendo, who I had a great conversation with. And we were actually the North Carolina premiere for this film, and it was not shot in North Carolina, but they did a good job fooling me and you as lifelong North Carolinians to thinking, hey, that looks a lot like Kitty Hawk. Looks like the coast of North Carolina for sure. Yes. So really happy to recognize 1,000 Years as our Carolina's Choice Award.
Yeah, and I do want to say, I'm glad you mentioned the interviews, because any of our viewers, if you want to watch some of these behind-the-scenes interviews with some of these filmmakers, you can check those out by going to, where, Thomas? Is it the Cleveland County Arts Council YouTube channel?
That's right. You can do that, or just look up Real Conversations, REEL Conversations, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever else you get your podcast.
Awesome. Well, Thomas, let's dive into the animation category. We had Best Student Animation and also Best Professional Animation.
Yes, so Best Student Animation also comes from UNC School of the Arts. It is The Clones of Kevin and Wynn, and it's about a cat in an underground fight club. That's all you need to know that this film absolutely rules. I continue to be amazed by what young animators are able to do with their storytelling in this film, The Clones of Kevin and Wynn. Congrats to them on winning Best Student Animation Award.
All right, and what about Best Professional Animation?
Yes, so Best Professional Animation comes from Japan. This is called The Tiny King, and it combines both live action and animation. I think it seamlessly integrates both of those. It's directed by Yuka Nakamura, who also had a great interview with, and it's taking us through basically a bedtime story. A father is reading his child a storybook, and we are engrossed into the world of that storybook. Yeah. Just really love the animation style here. And I think we were the first film festival to select The Tiny King as well. And so now The Tiny King is an award winner from Reel to Reel. So congrats to the entire crew of The Tiny King for Best Professional Animation from Reel to Reel.
One of the things I loved about The Tiny King is it did a beautiful job combining live action and animation and doing it in a way that just it felt authentic, and it felt alive. It really did. As I was watching the beginning of it, I couldn't help but think about The Princess Bride and other movies that where you have the stories that are being told, and then those stories find a way to come to life. So The Tiny King, congratulations. And again, this festival, Thomas, from year one was an international festival, and I'm just so thankful that we're continuing to celebrate international cinema. You mentioned all the different countries that we had films that were shown over the course of several nights, but overall, I think we said 26 or 27 countries had submissions for this year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, Thomas, there are some new awards that have been added, and I'm loving this because it gives you and I both a chance to celebrate some films as well. Again, that fall out of those standard categories, the founders and the festival directors. And you have two festival directors' choice awards that you want to talk about.
Absolutely, and I'll talk about first Kingdom of Tea and Strangers. This was our feature-length documentary that we closed out the festival with, directed by Houston Coley, a good friend of both of ours who we were really happy to host at Reel to Reel this year. And this is a documentary that takes us through a summer of this retreat in, I believe it is in the UK, and it's called L'Abri. And it's the retreat is a sort of community that is faith oriented, Christian oriented, but it's open to anybody who is from all walks of life who just has questions about their place in the world, about existence, and it kind of is hoping to foster some sort of, spiritual reckoning with where we are. And I think this film really speaks to the heart of humanity and finding the beauty in every moment. And it reminded me of a quote from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty that is, "Beautiful things don't ask for attention." And I think this documentary is basically an hour and 40-minute exploration of that theme. And I think this was your first time seeing the film at Reel to Reel, Dad. And it's one that I'd seen a couple times before, but seeing it with an audience who didn't really have much context for the film, that was a really great experience.
Yeah, congratulations to A Kingdom of Tea and Strangers. And Thomas, we've just got like 5 minutes left. So, Festival Director's Choice Award, another one, and running is something that's really been a passion of yours over the course of your lifetime. And the film, another film called A Runner's High, was selected.
Yeah, so I will mention Runner's High, directed by Cameron Wilson. And Cameron and I met at another film fest, the Boondocks Film Fest, back in February. And I met him there and was like, "Hey, you got to bring your film to Reel." And it's a character study of Caleb McCoy, who is he's an ultramarathon runner, an Indigenous man in Western North Carolina, and who has been going through recovery, some addiction recovery, and used ultra running kind of as a therapeutic process for that. And just like you said, with my immense passion for the world of running, which I've had for most of my life, this was immediately going to speak to me. And I think it had themes that connected universally with so many people. So Runner's High, really happy to recognize that as a Festival Director's Choice.
And a great Q&A from that film as well. Founders' Choice Awards, Thomas. There are two films that I'm recognizing, a professional and a student film. First, I'll talk about a professional film called Trail Mix. This film, Thomas, really explores the challenge of the Appalachian Trail, but it looks at it from so many different perspectives. Even the filmmaker himself, who was on this journey to kind of capture the stories of others, and over the process discovered a little bit, maybe a lot, about himself. One of the reasons I really appreciated this film is because it really did explore the aspect of us as humanity, finding our way in this world and doing it through those we meet, the places we go, and the things that we choose to engage our lives in. So congratulations to Trail Mix for Best Professional for the Founders' Choice Award. And for Best Student Film for Founders' Choice goes to Shaping the Old North State. This is a Gardner-Webb student film that I'm really just excited about because it celebrated the life and the impact of O. Max Gardner and his wife Faye Webb Gardner, and their impact not just on the state and not just what it did for Cleveland County, but beyond. When you look at this documentary from a Gardner-Webb student, a recent graduate actually now, 42-minute documentary was produced over the course of like a 4 to 5 month period, astounding to me. And I was just really blown away by what they're doing at Gardner Webb and how they are finding a way to build a program. It's the second year in a row we've had films that have been submitted that we have decided to choose for the festival. But Shaping the Old North State goes back to those pioneering days, and I had to celebrate that, Thomas. Anything you want to mention about those two before we go to the Audience Choice Award?
Yeah, just Trail Mix, directed by Glenn Schweitzer, was another one that I'm someone who oftentimes in my life I find myself retreating into the woods for maybe not months at a time, but sometimes a day or two, just to figure out a way to get through whatever is ailing me. And I think Trail Mix was, well, just represented that in a wonderful way. And then Shaping the Old North State, like you mentioned, I'm glad that my alma mater continues to produce really strong work like that. And then, our last film or our last award that we'll make note of is the Audience Choice Award, which went to a film we showed on Thursday night. It's called Salt Cured Life. And this was a documentary about a really interesting character from Key West. His name is Paul Menta, and he wants everyone to treat every day like a hurricane. And that this documentary takes us through some of, his psychology there and how he approaches life. That was one that I really enjoyed, and that our audience certainly appreciated and, used their votes to speak power to that as well.
Well, Thomas, thanks for all you did for this festival to keep it alive. 2 years now as festival director, and you are continuing to find ways to build it and to do new things each year. And so kudos to you on that. And a big thank you to Shara Miller, who is retiring from the Cleveland County Arts Council after almost 30 years, Thomas. Is that correct?
That's right, 29 years, and I've only been around on this planet for 25. So yeah.
So thank you to Shara for believing in this festival 26 years ago when Will Eskridge and I brought her the idea, and the fact that it's continued to live on. That's really a testament to the belief that Shara has and has had in this festival. So thank you to Shara. Also, thank you to all the volunteers who did so many things behind the scenes, from tech services to those that served on the selection committee, to those that sold popcorn, took tickets, and swept floors. There are just so many volunteers out there that chose to give their time. Photography, there was just so many, and I just want to thank all of them. I wish I could thank you all by name, but I cannot with the time we have. But just know you're appreciated. I know Thomas definitely appreciates it. Thomas, any final comments before we wrap up today's show?
Well, we're already getting started on Reel to Reel 2026. You don't want to miss it. Well, it'll be back here before you know it.
That's right. And if you're a filmmaker out there and you want to submit, I tell you, it's already open, right, Thomas? People can already start submitting for next year's festival.
That's the truth.
All right, Reel to Reel Film Fest. You can find that online, archives, and all sorts of other things, including those interviews. What's the website, Thomas?
Go to ccartscouncil.org or reeltoreelfest.com. That's REAL2REELfest.com.
All right, Noel Manning here for Thomas Manning, for the entire cast and crew of Meet Me at the Movies. We do appreciate you spending time with us, and congratulations again to all the winners of the 26th Annual Reel to Reel Film Festival. Till next time, that is a wrap.
We'll gladly fill you in. We'll tell about the happy and the sad ones. We'll talk about the good ones and the bad ones. Many films to view till we meet again.